Now, air can be represented by incense. I say incense because the smoke that billows from it. It can also be represented by the wand. Air is associated with intellect, psychic abilities, and generic understanding and the actual knowledge that magic brings. So, if you will, air is a very important element. In fact, it's probably the most vital, in my opinion, because plants need air to breathe, as in carbon dioxide, but essentially air. People need air. Water needs air, or water becomes air, and in turn, that air becomes water again through rain. Fire needs air. Without air, fire cannot breathe, it cannot grow, it cannot exist. So, the main reason I bring up the element of air is because it piques the interest of most people who get into magic, and if they have the astrological element as being air, a lot of people will be like, oh, I'm an air element, that's awesome. Now, the important thing about the air element is the fact that without the air element, you cannot even begin to process and get interested in the art of magic. If you think about it, air is the element acting on you in the very moment that you become interested in magic, or before you even do, or even allows you to take the steps to realize and understand magic. Your brain needs oxygen. If you're breathing correctly, if you're alive, and you begin to process information, just say you go into a bookstore, every single time you look at a book, you're processing more information rapidly because of the air element. You're processing more information because that's what your mind is naturally focused on. Go into a bookstore or a library, and you will see that you will actually be able to feel that air energy, if you will, acting on your brain. I mean, I'd say energy because that's sort of symbolic, but it's literally just you're processing more information because that's what your brain has to do in a situation where you have to read more covers of books, things like that. But I think it's that airy feeling you get when your interest is piqued in something that really represents air. If you've ever been one of those people who have been interested in magic for a while, and I can relate to a feeling like that because, for example, if you've ever been like me, whenever I first got into magic, anytime I'd go to the New Age section, there was just this overwhelming feeling, this type of aura that just drew me to that and made me want to read every single cover or just pick up as many books and see what each one was about and maybe put it back. It's that curiosity feeling, that need to learn. That's what the air element represents, and that is why it is the most vital. It is continued knowledge and understanding. Now, the fire element is very important because fire represents, as I said before, the spark of creation. And this can be creation on a physical level, or on the astral level, or on the psychic or the mental level. Now, the difference between the astral and the psychic and mental level is because the mental level is actually somewhat physical and non-physical. It can be subconscious and dreams like that. But the astral level actually extends from within yourself, your own astral body, into the external astral. Now, the fire element representation here is that whenever you do magic, there's a type of fire, if you will, a spark of creation that you put out whenever you try to manifest your will, or you begin to focus on manifesting your will. And it goes first, it starts internally. Your will starts internally. The fire starts internally. If you do not have a strong will, the fire cannot burn, and that's all there is to it. But if you have a strong will and you begin to practice and teach yourself, your mind, your body, everything, if you get used to that feeling, that inner creative aspect, your willpower, then you can better manifest it twice as easily on the physical level. But it has to begin on the internal level, the mental and psychic level, the pure will level. And then it moves into the astral level. And when it moves into the astral level, then you can better see it descend and manifest in your life. But there's a factor to take into consideration here with manifesting. Manifesting can only occur if you do not put any blocks in your way. Now, when I say blocks, I do not mean like just distractions or, anything in your personal life. So, because a lot of people seem to have this idea, because I was one of these people, a lot of people do have this idea that, oh, well, if I keep focusing on my will, then nothing will get in the way of it, and nothing could be further from the truth. The thing is, if you continue to focus on what you did, on your willpower, on your manifestation, this can lead to potential doubt. That in itself is a block, simply by focusing on your will too much after the work is done. Now, how does this work, you may ask, and how does this work on a scientific level? Well, if you want to see it from a scientific perspective, because I can go into this very easily, if you like the ideas of consciousness and being connected to everybody, things like that, your consciousness is sort of like an electrical outlet. It's input and output at the same time. Now, if you send a current through if you send an electrical current, in other words your will, which relies on electrical currents in your brain, if you send an electrical current out to the universe, if you continue to focus on that current all the way from back here, is there not going to be a slight glitch or disruption in that current's perfect flow? Because you're sending new signals from your, I guess you could say, your computer, your consciousness computer, if you will. You're sending new currents out, these little tiny disruptions of electricity, to the electrical current that's already built and strong and perfect as it is. But as you do that, like that, just these little bursts of electricity interrupting with your will and sending these slight waves like this, your current's going this way, there's a wave from your focus on it going like this, making it disrupt, taking longer to manifest. And you see, this in turn creates new blocks, new manifestations in the physical, because you're distracted by your own will. If you begin to doubt yourself, if you begin to doubt your ability to manifest what you want, because that's your right, it is your right, don't ever forget that. But if you doubt yourself because of some impending idea that, oh, it won't work, or oh, it works for this person but it can't work for me. I used to think that too after a while. After about a year of practice, I thought that too, because I wasn't seeing too many results, if any at all. It was mostly wishful thinking to me at that time. But I forced myself to keep learning. And you have to do that. You have to be patient with yourself, as if you were patient with a child. You have to treat your mind like a child and be patient with it. This goes for your will too.